Welcome friends. In this video I am going to talk about the Navamsha chart, how it influences your own behavior, your own life, and how it will influence your spouse. See, this is the most important chart in the entire horoscope after the rashi chart. As I told in my previous video that the rashi chart is getting 6 points in the Shadvargas and this chart gets 5 points, and this chart can also be seen as an independent chart after the age of 30 or after one gets married. So first of all, let's see how it is associated with our own self. See, the first thing is that you have to note the rising lagna here in the Navamsha chart. So friends, if your rising lagna is of Aries, if it is of Cancer, if it is of Libra, or if it is of Capricorn, these are the 4 signs which are called as the movable signs 1, 4, 7 and 10. So if your rising lagna of Navamsha is of 1, 4, 7, 10 signs, then it means that you possess a drid karmas and your temperament is going to be very angelic in nature. So you yourself are going to be very good by temperament, and in this lifetime, based upon your prarabdhas, your past life deeds, your life is going to be very easy and you do not have to do much about mitigating your past life sins or karmas. And here, by doing little bit of efforts, you will be able to get over your difficulties in life. So no major difficulties you will have to go through based upon the rising Navamsha. Now coming to the next category of Navamshas, if your Navamsha belongs to 2, 5, 8 and 11 signs, that is Taurus sign, Leo sign, Scorpio sign and Aquarius sign, it means you belong to the Manav category, and Manav category means human like. Your temperament is going to be very human like. So wherever there is need to be angry, you will be angry. Wherever there is need to be more loving, more affectionate, you will be like that. So you will have mixed kind of temperament. But here the drawback is that it comes under the drid karmas, which means your prarabdhas are fixed. So here in this lifetime, if you have to undergo through any kind of suffering based upon the other criterias of your chart, then even after doing the remedies, the sufferings will not go away, because your Navamsha lagna is telling that you have done some kind of errors in your past life which you have to go through, whose suffering you have to go through in this lifetime. That is why you belong to the category of drid karmas. So this is how you can correlate your Navamsha chart to your own life. Now friends, Navamsha chart is going to tell you lot many things. I will be making more videos on Navamsha so that I can tell you more about the Navamsha chart, but today I am going to tell about certain things which are associated with your own self and with your spouse. And now comes the third category of the Navamsha lagna, that is the 3, 6, 9 and 12 lagna signs. It means if your Navamsha lagna belongs to the Gemini sign or the Virgo sign or the Sagittarius sign or the Pisces sign, so in that case you belong to adrid karmas and your temperament is going to be very demonic in nature, which means that you are prone to getting angry very soon. Your temperament is going to be very aggressive and you will get angered very quickly. And this kind of lagna also tells you that in your past life you have committed certain things which can be mitigated by doing the remedies, and some of the things cannot be mitigated. So it is a mix of drid and adrid karmas for you. So this is how you can correlate the Navamsha lagna to your own life. Now friends, Navamsha chart tells you lot many things. It also tells you about the kind of preference that you have for your would-be spouse. So some of you who are listening to me may be married and some of you are looking out for a spouse. So let's see how we can correlate the Navamsha Lagna to the kind of spouse that you will attract. Friends, before proceeding further, I'll also tell you that it is a very good sign if your Navamsha Lagna and your spouse's Navamsha Lagna are having 1-7 relationship. By this I mean to say that if your Navamsha is say Aries, then your spouse's Navamsha, if it is belonging to Libra sign, if the Lagna of your spouse is of Libra sign, then it is an excellent combination. It means you both attract each other very well because you are having opposite Navamsha Lagnas. Suppose your Navamsha Lagna is of Taurus and your spouse's Navamsha Lagna is of Scorpio, then also they are having 1-7 connection, and 1-7 connection always attracts the partners. So it is a very good sign if your spouse's Lagna is opposite to your Lagna. So this is one of the things that you should keep in mind. Another thing is that for males, Venus should not be in the Lagna or in the 7th house. It is not good for the happiness of marriage because as per the teachings of Shri V.P. Goel sir, from whom I have learnt about the Navamsha charts, so sir says that Venus in the Lagna or in the 7th house will cause Karko Bhave Nashaye, which means when the Karak sits in the Lagna or in the 7th house, and if it is afflicted also by Saturn or Mars or Rahu or Ketu or Sun, in that case it is a sure shot combination that the person may never get married, or if somehow they have gotten married, they will never be able to stay happy in that relationship. This is for the males. For the females, it has to be the Jupiter which sits in the Lagna or in the 7th house, and if this Jupiter is afflicted also, then it's a very bad combination for having no marriage at all. So this point you should keep in mind. Another thing you should see is the placement of your Lagna Lord of your Navamsha chart. So if your Lagna Lord of the Navamsha chart has gone to the 12th house or 6th house or 8th house, so it is indicating that your own temperament towards marriage is not good. You are not either willing to get married or you do not take the take your marriage very seriously. Suppose your Lagna Lord has gone to the 12th house, it means you are not very keen on getting married. I have seen many charts of people who have this combination and they are still unmarried even at the age of 40. So another thing is that if your Lagna Lord of Navamsha has gone to the 8th house, this is also the same thing. The person may not be having any inclination for marriage. And if it goes to the 6th house, in that case it would say that the person is not going to give importance to the authority of marriage, and the person may do some kind of mischiefs in marriage which will pave way to disharmony between the couples. So this factor should always be kept in mind where your Lagna Lord of the Navamsha chart is placed. Friends, another thing I have seen is that if your Lagna Lord of the Navamsha chart is exalted or if it is in its own sign, then it is also not a good combination for marriage. Whatever be your Lagna, if it is exalted or if it is in its own sign, then it shows that the person may marry more than once. So the person, even if he has been married for a long time in one marriage only, these are those people who will have lots of affairs side by side despite being married. So this is not a good combination. And if you are having malefic planets present within the Kendra houses of your Navamsha chart, then it indicates that the person will have lots of difficulties in getting married. And even if there is a single benefic planet present within the Kendra houses of your Navamsha chart, then it shows that after difficulties you will be able to find the right kind of partner for you. And if there are only benefics present inside the Kendra houses of your Navamsha chart, then it shows that you will find your match very easily. And if there is aspect of Jupiter to the 7th house from elsewhere in the Navamsha chart, then also it shows that you will get married on time. Friends, another thing is that if there is a malefic like Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu or Sun influencing your 1-7 houses of your Navamsha chart, then they are indicative of disturbance in marriage. It is not good to have these separative planets influencing your 1-7 axis of the Navamsha chart. They will surely cause disturbance in marriage, and sometimes they can also break the marriage. But you have to see other aspects also. If there is a benefic aspecting or present, then it can somehow stop the disharmony, and it can have a check on the disharmony, and it may save the marriage. So the aspects and conjunctions, they do matter a lot, and you should always give importance to these benefics. Now friends, coming to the Lagna of your Navamsha chart. So first we'll start with the Aries Lagna. If your Navamsha is having Aries sign, it shows that you prefer a partner who is going to be very authoritative, who is going to be very sporty like you, and you want a very energetic partner for yourself. See, the Lagna chart is always telling you about the kind of partner that you prefer, and the Lagna Lord is how you will handle your partner. And your 7th house is basically of your marriage. I am talking about the D9 chart. The 7th house tells you about the marriage, and the 7th Lord is going to tell you how you are going to handle your marriage. The Lagna is your partner and the 7th house is your marriage. So always remember this. Now, the drawback of having Aries Lagna as the Navamsha is that if your Mars is present in 6, 8 or 12 houses, then the person can even break up his marriage. It's not a good sign. Or if your Lagna Lord is afflicted, the person can become very aggressive in his marriage or with his marriage partner. So this was about the Aries Lagna. Now if you have Taurus as your Navamsha Lagna, then it means that you prefer a partner who is very good looking and who is going to give you lots of comforts in life, and who is going to give you lots of riches in life. So you want a wealthy partner, you want a very talented partner who should be having lots of talents. And the drawback with this kind of Lagna is, and the drawback will only come when your Lagna Lord is afflicted or if it is placed in 6, 8, 12 houses. So the drawback here could be that the person could become very promiscuous and he can have relationships besides his marriage. So this is the drawback. So it is very important that the Lagna Lord should be placed well. Now coming to the third category of Lagna, that is the Gemini Lagna, and it is ruled by Mercury. So if your Lagna Lord is well placed, then it is good for you. You will prefer a partner who is going to be very learned, who is able to communicate with you well, and who is able to give you lots of knowledge, and who is fond of traveling. These are the attributes you want in your partner. You will always want an intelligent partner who can talk with you, who can debate with you. Now the drawback here is that if your Lagna Lord is ill placed in 6, 8, 12, or if it is afflicted by malefics, in that case you can go astray in marriage and you can have affairs, and this can be the cause of ruin in your marriage. So this can disturb your marriage. Now coming to the fourth category of Lagna, that is the Cancer Lagna. So you prefer a partner who is going to be very caring. For you, emotions means a lot. You would always value a partner who takes good care of you. So for you, living without your partner is something very big deed, and you yourself are going to be very emotional about your marriage here. So if your moon is not well placed, then you will have disturbance in your marriage, and for that you have to do some remedies. But you also have to see if there is a benefic aspect in your moon or your lagna that will safeguard your marriage to a lot of extent. Now coming to the fifth category of lagna, that is of Leo, and Leo is ruled by Sun. You want a partner who is well known to all, who is authoritative, who is commanding, who can take charge of things on their own. So you want a partner who is valued by all. And here the drawback could be that you may have some ego related issues in your marriage, and that is going to happen when your sun is not well placed, or if it is afflicted, else there won't be many problems. So now coming to the sixth category of your lagna, that is your Virgo lagna. So it is ruled by Mercury. So you prefer a partner who can be a healer to others, who can always help you in the time of your problems, and you want somebody who should be always helpful. And here you also want a partner who is very calculative, who values money to a lot of extent, and you also want a partner who should be very intelligent, with whom you can converse easily, and who is having a lot of importance for material things, for money related things. So this kind of partner you will attract, or you subconsciously want. And if your Mercury is afflicted, or if it is in 6, 8, 12, then you will have problems in your marriage, and in that case you can also cheat on your partner with this kind of combination. Now coming to the next category, that is the Libra lagna. You will want a partner who is very good looking, who is very well mannered, and who is very diplomatic also. So you will also want a partner with whom you can discuss anything and everything. So you want a partner who is just like a actual partner to you, so with whom you can discuss everything and take their guidance. So this kind of partner you will prefer, and of course they have to be good looking because of the Libra sign. And in case your lagna is afflicted, you can also become very promiscuous and you can cheat on your partner. So with the benefic lagnas under affliction, the people may not break their marriages, but they will just go outside and find somebody else to seek that kind of happiness. So this is the crux by the kind of lagna that you are having. So this is the basic crux of it. Now if your lagna is of Scorpio sign, it means you want a partner who is very strong, who is very energetic, and who can always listen to your desires, and who will cooperate you with your kind of innovative thoughts. So here the problem is that if your lagna is afflicted, you can break your marriage in no time. You can be very impulsive about that, and these are, or this is one of the major drawbacks with the Scorpio lagna for your marriage. Now coming to the next lagna, that is the Sagittarius lagna, because it is a benefic planets lagna. So here also you would want a partner who is very intelligent, who is very knowledgeable, and who brings luck to you. So you would want a lucky partner, and who loves traveling, and you will also want to be very adventurous with your partner with this kind of lagna. But the drawback here is that you yourself can cheat on your partner if things are not going well, or if your lagna lord is under affliction, or if it has gone to 6, 8, 12 houses. Here you can become disloyal towards your partner, so you have to take care of that. Now if you are having Capricorn lagna, then your lagna lord is Saturn. So it shows that you want a partner who is very conservative, who follows the usual societal norms, and you want to control your partner, and you want your partner to listen to you always, and you want your partner to be very hardworking also. The drawback here is if your Saturn is under affliction, or if it has gone to 6, 8, 12, you would always want a monotonous life with your life partner, and a routine kind of life which can bore your partner. So here the boredom will set in, and you will become very commanding with your thoughts, and you would want your partner to always listen to you, which can cause friction between you and your partner. So you need to bring in some kind of variety in your partnership, so that it blooms and it blossoms, and there is no kind of monotony in your married life. Now if you are having Aquarius as your lagna, then also it is the Saturn as the lagna lord. So here Saturn would you would want your partner to be very socially active, and to be very socially smart also, to be very intelligent, a very out of the box kind of thinker, and you want your partner to introduce you to the world, to take the lead, because you yourself may or may not be of that kind. So you would want your partner to have those qualities of being an extrovert, being extraordinary intelligent, being more social towards the worldly affairs. So these are the qualities that you will look out for in your partner. And if there is affliction to the lagna lord, here you will again become very dominant with your partner, and you would become you would demand stuff from your partner, that they should listen to you, and you will bring lots of you can say routine like things in your marriage, which can be a cause of boredom and differences between you and your married partner. So friends, the last lagna is of Pisces, and the lord is Jupiter. As we all know, Jupiter is all about knowledge and intelligence. So you want your partner to be very knowledgeable, very intelligent, and you also want them to be very sacrificing by nature, and you want them to be submissive also. See, there are two things. One is that you want your partner to be intelligent and express, but here you want your partner to be intelligent and keep the things to themselves, and whenever the need be, you want to extract that information or their knowledge. So here there is slight difference between the Sagittarius lagna lord and the Pisces lagna. So both the cases are different. And here also, if the lagna is under affliction, or your lagna lord in 6, 8, 12, you can become very promiscuous and you can cheat on your partner. So these are some of the drawbacks if your lagna lord is under some kind of affliction. So friends, this is how you can tell a lot about your partner and about your own self. And I will bring more videos in the near future, in which I will tell you many things about the Navamsha chart, because it holds so many information. It is telling you so many things. It is also used to study the effect of transit, to see the health prospects, to see the longevity, to see the spirituality, to see the strength of planets, so many things. So